Thank you very much, Madhav and Meghna and Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw. Of course, without questions, how can we let you go? And I'm grateful to you for being with us this morning as Times Now enters its 20th year. 20 years of making news and 20 years where we have begun the action. But right now, the ball is in your court. You gave us a glimpse of how to keep Bharat ahead. I want to ask you, how does this blueprint really get made in the cabinet? Give us an insight on how the Prime Minister's vision is converted into action.
If you look at the situation of the entire world and the global economy after COVID, practically demand shrunk, movement stopped, capital flow, people flow, goods flow, everything was disrupted. The supply chains were disrupted. What was the approach that many countries took? The approach that so many countries took was basically print money, send the money to the people, and let people decide what to do, and then let the economy come back. What was the result? Close to $9 trillion of debt on the rich countries' balance sheets. $9 trillion. It's a humongous amount by any standard, by any economy's standards. People focused on consumption. That was like a sugar high. That was like having a double shot espresso. It was like really, really sudden jump and then coming down. What was the approach that our Prime Minister took? He said, in this crisis period, we must strengthen the foundation of the country. We must look at policy which will help our country grow, keep Bharat ahead for next 20 years, next 30 years, next 50 years. So he followed the policy of investment. And with very solid calculations, with good math, good logic behind it, because you invest 100 rupees in the economy as social, public and social, physical and digital infrastructure. The economy gets the benefit of 3.6 times multiple, which is 360 rupees benefit in the economy. And that makes so much difference, that generates employment, that creates productivity, that improves efficiency of the industry and movement of people, and that brings the economy into a sustained growth phase. That's what our Prime Minister gave the vision, and the team is implementing it.
Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, you're in charge of some of the very crucial ministries in terms of infrastructure, in terms of global edge that India needs to get. I want to ask you, we are at the cusp of catching the bus, which we've missed several times in the past several decades, on being the geopolitical alternative to China. How far have we made strides in that direction? Are we still competing with countries like Vietnam, Korea, and can we actually wrest the advantage away from China?
The world is fiercely competitive, for sure. Every country wants to increase their share of the pie. But good thing is, our country, India, is today seen as a trusted geography, as a trusted country, as a country which respects IP rights, as a country which believes in long-term partnerships, as a country which adds value and can co-create technologies, can co-develop products. That's a very fundamental difference when you compare it with many other countries. And that advantage was possible because our Prime Minister conducted a foreign policy which was focused on putting India in a position of strength, which is very pragmatic, very practical, very, in a sense, what is the advantage that this policy will bring to our country and our people. Because of that, today we are in a very, in a situation where practically every country, every company wants to be part of our supply chain, our value chain, and wants to be here. And that's demonstrated in the results. As I shared, close to $115 billion worth electronics production is happening, manufacturing is happening here. Our semiconductor plants, 5 of the plants are under construction. First Made in India chip will roll out this year. So on every front, telecom products, telecom manufacturing has crossed about 80,000 crore. So electronics manufacturing actually has become among the top 3 exported items from India. It was unthinkable 10 years ago. So the results are there for us to see. I don't have to say anything. The results speak for themselves.
Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, do Trump's pronouncements every day on tariffs bother you, make you nervous, make the country nervous?
Our country has many inherent strengths, and we are dealing with this. Honorable Piyush Goyal ji, my senior colleague, he is handling this matter in a very proper way, and I think our country will come out very strong out of this entire process.
I love the way you dodge the question. But Ashwini ji, let me ask you, is the Prime Minister a hard taskmaster? Everybody wants to get an insight on how does the government actually run? Please share with our audience, with our viewers.
Navika ji asking this question after 20 years, 25 years in news industry.
Well, 32 to be, candid. But, coming from somebody who's moved from being a, bureaucrat to being a private sector entrepreneur to being a political, how do you see? Is governance by governments different from running corporates?
One thing which is very different in Prime Minister Modi ji's regime is he is very focused. There are 2 things which really make a very big difference. First, our Prime Minister is probably the most intent listener that I've ever seen in the world. I've interacted with many global leaders, both in the business world as well as in the political side. The most intent listener I have found is our Prime Minister. He'll listen to some of the most difficult and complex topics and absorb them so well and add his practical wisdom, which has come from decades of social work, decades of economic work, running a large state, running the country, and then bring out that right policy paradigm first. Second, every policy is as good as the execution that happens. The execution, which gets monitored practically every fortnight, sometimes every week, every month, definitely, that makes a very big difference. Third, whenever the decision has been taken, our Prime Minister gives a free hand beyond that. First, you be clear what you want to achieve. Does that fit into the overall goal that where our country wants to go? And after that, the entire team is free to innovate, free to make all the changes that need to be made and achieve that result. Be accountable for it. That's the approach.
पर लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन राहुल गांधी तो कहते हैं आप उन्हें बोलने ही नहीं देते, तो प्रधानमंत्री सुनते किसको हैं? क्योंकि लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन ने कल कहा है कि पार्लियामेंट में कई दिनों से उन्हें बोलने नहीं दिया जा रहा.
इतने बड़े-बड़े भाषण दिए उन्होंने
पार्लियामेंट के बाहर,
पार्लियामेंट में भी,
पर इस सेशन में आप उन्हें बोलने नहीं दे रहे. That's the charge.
का सेशन चल रहा है, 11 बजे सेशन स्टार्ट होता है. आप इस प्रश्न से आगे बढ़िए.
क्यों? आप बोलने देंगे उन्हें आज पार्लियामेंट में?
स्पीकर साहब का काम स्पीकर साहब करेंगे भाई.
Well said. I want to ask you another question. Politicians freedom of speech को कितनी तवज्जो देते हैं, कितना महत्व देते हैं? Because कोई जोक क्रैक करता है, आप लोग नाराज हो जाते हैं. ऐसा पब्लिक को लगता है. क्या कहेंगे आप?
See, I would like to very categorically say that we have to work as a society. हमें हमारे संविधान के फ्रेमवर्क में काम करना चाहिए. हमारे संविधान ने एक फ्रेमवर्क बनाया है. Our constitution has a very clear framework where the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, that is very well laid out. One of the most important rights that we have is this, and the entire country respects it. The judiciary respects it, the executive respects it, the legislature respects it. All the arms of the government respect this law, and that is part of our constitution. The constitution has also laid certain safeguards on it, and those safeguards are as important as the right, because if everybody follows the proper safeguards, then the society will work in a harmonious way. And ultimately, what is right in a different society, let's say the Western society, may not be right in our society. There are different cultural contexts of everything. The way we have to express ourselves should be within the harmony of the society, I would say.
Harmony of society, but some people who make jokes or are stand-up comedians, for them to be summoned by police, isn't that a little too extreme?
If the law of the land requires that, that should be done.
What about AI? What about, social media? You've said in the past that while it gives us a lot of platforms on social media to express our views, the fact is that it is often misused as well. Where do you think the line needs to be drawn?
See, I'll share what the digital or communication ministers of close to 20 countries, 25 countries have shared in the meetings. Every country, whether it is a country which has very, very liberal system or a country which has somewhat balanced, each and every country is feeling, each and every society is feeling that the institutions which have been built over centuries are getting disturbed and sometimes getting destroyed by the kind of fake news, the kind of unaccountable matters which go on to the social media as a platform. So I think as users, first, it's our responsibility. What are we putting onto the social media, right? Yes, every city, every country, every society has created institutions where you can go out in a public square and say what you want to say, but that comes with a responsibility. So the responsibility should also be equally important, in my opinion. Not just the right, but also the duties must be equally important.
Is there censorship on your mind?
Absolutely not. The fundamental point is we must be responsible in using every platform, every technology which gives us the empowerment. That empowerment comes with responsibility.
Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, you have another portfolio of the railways and infrastructure. Many questions are raised about the fact that you have newer projects of Vande Bharat which are doing well, but there is the original issue of railway safety, of governance on railways, at railway stations, crowd control, etc., etc. How do you respond to some of these questions?
The focus which we have put on railway safety has given us the results. Accidents have reduced 90% from what Honorable Laluji's period, Honorable Mamtaji's period. From that period, it has reduced 90%. The change which has come has because of very methodical work. Many new technologies have been brought in. Better quality of rails, longer rails, the welding fractures, which were one of the major causes of accidents, have reduced by 91%. Rail fractures have reduced by 92%. Each and every incident that happens, we go into the root cause. If you look at Laluji's period, it used to be close to 700 accidents in a year, which means 2 accidents a day. Mamtaji's period, it used to be about 400 accidents in a year, which means daily one, more than one. Our government has been able to bring it down to less than 100 at this point of time. Consequential accidents are from 171, it has come down to 30. But we are not stopping here. We want to keep this focus on and significantly improve each and everything that needs attention, needs focus, and we are putting investment in it. The investment in safety used to be just about, it used to be a very small amount 10 years ago. Now this is 1,16,000 crore rupees investment in safety items, whether it is revenue expenditure or capital expenditure. And these things have really made a big difference. Our focus on creating new infrastructure. So in 10 years, we have constructed 34,000 kilometers of new railway tracks. That is more than the entire network of Germany. But that should have been done, let's say 50, 60 years ago, that should have been done. So that's the focus we are putting, and that's needed because the country needs that capacity. And capacity increase was possible only because our Prime Minister gave a clear focus on creating infrastructure, and he supported that with funding. It used to be just 29,000 crore rupees of budget allocation for railways. Now it has become 2,50,000 crore. So that has made a fundamental difference, and the results are visible on the ground.
Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, you also have a lot of political homework that you get from time to time. Election after election, in charge of so many states where elections have been held in the recent past, including Maharashtra, where stupendous results for the BJP were seen. Post the Lok Sabha elections, you've got 4 victories in a row, Bihar coming up next. I want to ask you, what is the winning formula?
People's confidence in Prime Minister Modi ji's leadership, his work, and it's visible on the ground.
When you strategize, they say that the BJP is a strategy election winning machine. How does that strategy really happen in the BJP's own war room?
There is no one answer to this question. It's fundamentally understanding what people's aspirations are, what work we have done so far, and taking it to the people.
What about the capturing of the institutions, as the opposition always alleges? Election Commission आपका है, CBI आपकी है, ED आपकी है, सब कुछ आपका हो गया, इसलिए आप इलेक्शन जीतते हैं.
वो तो उनका भी था.
तो उनका था, वो जीतते थे, आपका है.
कहाँ जीतते थे? कहाँ जीतते थे?
जब से आपने लिया वो नहीं जीत रहे हैं.
ऐसा नहीं है. देखिए, बहुत स्पष्ट है. सारे के सारे institutions, they work as per the constitutional mandate given to them. They work. There are checks and balances in our democracy. अगर लोग अपनी हार का कारण अगर इन institutions को दिखाते हैं, तो अगर ये सच होता, तो कांग्रेस तो कभी हारती ही नहीं. 50-60 साल से थे राज में. उन्होंने काम नहीं किया. They didn't go to the people. They didn't understand what the society has changed. Navika ji, today's society is no longer that society of 1950s or 1970s. It's a society which is very aspirational society. People want a big change in their lives. You go to the villages of Madhya Pradesh, go to the villages of Maharashtra, go to the villages of Odisha. When you meet that old mother in the house, or the old man in the house, you find they say that they never believed that in their homes you'll get electricity, you'll get water, you'll get the road built to their village, you'll get the gas connection. Gas connection जैसी चीज 50-60 साल में 12 करोड़ ज्यादा से ज्यादा मिडिल क्लास और अर्बन फैमिलीज में आए. मोदी जी ने 10 साल में 12 करोड़ गांव के गरीबों को दिए गैस कनेक्शन. That change is visible. It's there on the ground, and people see that change. It's a change which makes them believe that there is a better future for them when Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's government works both in the center and the state. That's what is giving us the results.
Is there any onus on the government, on the treasury benches, to take the opposition along? राहुल गांधी साथ चलें तो देश जल्दी आगे बढ़ेगा.
स्वागत है उनका. चेंज हो जाए, इधर आ जाए.
Well, brilliant answer. In the end, I just want to ask you the last question. One big mantra to keep Bharat ahead.
A big focus on what's needed to be done. Keep the heads down. Keep focusing on improving our strengths. Keep the focus on execution.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, who's in charge of 20 departments, last I heard, but IT...
Mat bolo, please.
Nahi bolu? INB, Railways, or nahi bolu? Achha.
Thank you.
Okay. Always a pleasure to have you, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, and setting the note for the summit in the inaugural session. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together once again for Ashwini Vaishnaw.